I think my hairline isn't looking too good. I have strategically placed myself in this position because if I do this, is that going a bit far back? Is either my hairline's receding or I've just got a funny shaped head. Or I might blame the lens, mate, because when I look square on, I look weird, mate. I've got a weird head and a weird hairstyle. By the way, I do look a bit scruffy, don't I? There's a reason for that. One, I found the less I shave, the better my skin is. And two, growing the hair out, mate, for my messy mullet. The messy mullet is inbound.
Luke, how are you feeling, mate, since you stopped anabolics?
I've just started the video. Give us a break. But on a serious note, people have been asking for updates, and updates you shall have. I'm a man of the people. Similar to last week, low energy in the morning, hence the big white girl coffee I have here. Low energy in the evening, muscle soreness really high. But something that's come into play like the last 4 days is digestion's taken a bit of a hit, which isn't great. It's not like something I've experienced before. I feel like I've got like an eyelash in my eye. Essentially, I will wake up and I'm absolutely sound. I'll go for a walk, stomach extension, love that. I'll eat a meal, stomach discomfort, I'll finish training. Again, quite a lot of stomach extension. So what I decided to do is I've significantly decreased my calorie intake, volume of my actual meals, and protein intake. I've done that for 2 days now, and it has improved, which is sound. So I'm just gonna pay close attention to it, and hopefully it does improve over time, taking that approach. The only thing I can think of, because nothing's changed apart from the PED side of things, because I've come completely off, potentially, it's highly likely I've tanked my estrogen, and thanks to that, there's now issues with gut transit time and gut motility. That's me taking a wild guess. Anyway, about to head up to the office space, got to finalise a plan for a new lad who is starting today. Then I'm jumping on the podcast with Pete. Does anyone listen to the podcast? I don't know, because we don't look at the analytics. And then, yeah, we'll train. And then during the training part of the video, we'll talk about the topic of the video. In that right, Dexter? In that right? I'm going to waffle for about 4 minutes over training. What do you think? Good idea? It's a great idea. So, yeah, let's do that. What is the angle like? What is the brightness like? What is the white balance like? Hopefully it's decent. I'm going to keep this one take. It's going to be a bit of a ramble. I trained with my client Craig this morning, pulling arms, and I'm absolutely battered. You join me a few days later. I've had a bit of a shave and I'm wearing a white t-shirt. The white t-shirt isn't by choice. I've made a massive error within my adulting, my whoosh cycle, mate. Off to Ibiza this week, bit of a stroke mission. Heading for Pacha, music on, because the lineup, absolute joke. Frank Rizzardo, Pausa, Marco Corolla, yes please, get me in the mixer. It's probably going to be sardines in there. But after the gym, big whoosh of all my favourite t-shirts. This is the only one I've got left. Didn't really think it through. But anyway, topic of today's video is just going to be a bit of a rant. I'm seeing so many people hold themselves back when it comes down to their physique development through either lack of self-awareness or excuses. So let's talk about it. First thing I see, ineffective training. This comes down to self-awareness. As mentioned in my previous videos, please record your sets. If your training isn't effective, you won't see change. Now, I know a few of you are scared to record your sets. I understand it can be a bit awkward at times. So let's say you're not going to film your sets. Answer me this. Last time you went through a growth phase of bulk, how much muscle did you gain? When you dieted down after your bulk, did you find yourself at the same scale weight as your previous fat loss phase, but in better condition? Or did you find yourself heavier in the same condition? If you didn't find yourself in one of those positions, your growth phase wasn't effective. The bulk was not bulking. And that's not because your nutrition wasn't on point, it's because your training wasn't up to scratch. When it comes down to a growth phase, I've been made aware recently after having many conversations, people think they're being held back within their growth phase because their macro and micronutrients isn't on point. That's not the case. You can dirty bulk. Your nutrition could be awful. As long as you're in a surplus and your training's damn good, you're gonna grow. The reason you're not growing is because your training's not on point. Address it. Another thing I want to talk about, focusing on lagging body parts in the early stages of your training career. If you've just started training properly, and I'm talking 2 years in, your arms aren't lagging, everything is. Your chest is not lagging, everything is. Have the goal of systemic growth. grow everywhere. And if you actually do find yourself in a position where you have a lagging body part, you're a bit later down the line, don't just increase frequency and volume blindly. 99.9% of the time, the issue isn't volume, the issue isn't frequency, it's your application. A classic is a guy with a real good upper body with weak legs. Why is that? He trains his upper body like an animal, but his lower body like a bitch. His upper body 0 reps in reserve, his lower body's 4 reps in reserve. Application's everything. Quality over quantity. Another thing that's holding a lot of people back is off-plan meals, implementing them far too frequently. If you are in a fat loss phase, focus on getting the fat off. You do not need an off-plan meal every single week. Let's forget about balance for a bit. This fat loss phase is temporary. You should be able to wrap them up pretty damn quickly. Now, I do implement off-plan meals with my clients, but it's always phase and situation dependent. I think off-plan meals are almost becoming a trend. You see a lot of lads posting them on Instagram. You see people sponsored by these dessert companies making these monstrosities and sending them in the post. I can guarantee if you're having a weekly off-plan meal in a fat loss phase, you're just slamming the brakes on. Stop it. Another thing that's holding people back is excuses around nutrition itself. Days of eating. I can't meal prep. I'm working on site. I used to work on site too. Labourer, plumber. I tell you what I found. It's an amazing invention. It's called a cool box. Prep your meals, put it in the cool box, voila, you're sorted. Another one I get frequently with regards to nutrition, I can't have that meal. Missus doesn't like it. Is your missus also trying to be a 200-pound jack bodybuilder? No, didn't think so. Eat together, just except you're gonna have to have different meals. A lot of people say they want to achieve something, but ultimately they don't. They like the thought of it, but they don't really want to achieve it. And I know this because I can hear excuse after excuse after excuse. Bold statement inbound, hope it doesn't hurt your feelings. But if you are able-bodied and healthy, there's no excuse for you not to be in shape if you do want to be in shape. The transformations you see on my Instagram page, they're not magical at all. These lads aren't living like bodybuilding monks. These lads aren't on some kind of crazy supplementation or nutrition protocol. It's simply managing energy balance relative to the goal, calorie deficit, holding things at maintenance, or being in a calorie surplus, alongside effective training and good lifestyle management. Everyone can do it. But the problem is there's a huge lack of self-awareness. There's a huge lack of impatience as well, alongside many excuses. Physique development's simple. It's really simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. So if you are currently struggling with your physique development, take a big step back, hold the mirror up to yourself and be very, very honest with what you see. Are you seeing someone who's always happy to take the easy route, make the excuses, turn a blind eye to poor habits and behaviour? Because if you are, sort it out, mate. You'll be absolutely flying. That was a bit of a rant, wasn't it? But I'm just seeing these things come into play so frequently. People who can clearly make great change choosing not to. But instead of going, oh, actually, I'm choosing not to do that, I'm choosing not to take action, they just make excuses. That's just not on. That push session, by the way, was decent. I am on an upper lower. No, I am. Don't call me a liar. This week was just a bit different. I had to move things around because I was training pulling arms with Craig this morning. So my training week went pushing arms, legs, pulling arms, rest. Then it's going to be upper lower before I head out to that beautiful island. I forgot what I've been saying, to be honest. I'm in like a post-workout, come down, rambly state. Also, I noticed on that intro, oh, my biceps cramping out, mate. I had a bit of toothpaste around my mouth. I think I'm getting too comfortable on camera. I'm talking to the camera like it's my mate. I probably shouldn't roll out of bed and press record. I should probably pamper myself up a bit. But if you enjoyed the video, which is highly unlikely, remember to like, subscribe, comment if you're feeling dangerous. I'll see you in the next one.